what's up studs? Ryan here, or MandRproductions, with my review of the LEGO Winter Village 2020 set. This is the Elf Clubhouse, and it's recommended for ages 18 and up, which I don't really like because this is more of like a family type set for your family to gather around and look at and play with. So not a huge fan of them using it here, but whatever. Set 102.75 with 1,197 pieces, and this set in the United States cost me $100. Now you can see Elf Clubhouse from the Winter Village collection. I'm sure we'll see more of that on future Winter Village sets. Batteries included, so there will be some sort of light up function within the set, which we will get to. The box art is a little bit different for the set than in years past, just showing kind of a starry night in the background with no actual art really to it. It's very weird. You can see top of the box shows off your figures. I got a bit of a damaged box from lego.com, unfortunately. I guess that's what I get for paying $30 extra for shipping. And then on the back, you see you can have the open side of the Elf Clubhouse, and you see the bunk bed and whatnot. So I'm very excited to rip into this. So I'm going to build this up, and I'll be right back with the minifigures. The set includes 4 elf figures, all of which have the exact same print for their outfit and the same hat and everything. So they aren't that exciting as characters to me. I was actually kind of disappointed with the character selection in this set. There's just nothing really unique to me, and I don't find these characters particularly interesting. But the one here does have the bullhorn, and if we take his little hat off, you'll notice he does have a second facial expression, which is actually pretty good there. Second elf here has a scarf, which is a nice touch, but you'll no longer find a second facial expression, unfortunately. Third elf here, again, same outfit, just different face, and underneath that hat, you'll find a very interesting second expression there on him or her. And finally, the one with glasses, honestly, maybe the most interesting looking one of the 4, but at that, still the same exact outfit and everything. So you may be disappointed like me with the minifigures, you may be just fine with this, but I just don't find these elves that intriguing personally. The set's first instruction manual and first builds here, you can see it actually is its own separate manual, does produce a fair amount of little mini builds that go on the outside of the clubhouse, including a very large Christmas tree, which is actually really well built, maybe one of the best Lego Christmas trees I've ever seen. They've definitely built some really good ones in recent years, and this one is definitely up there with the best of them. Solid build, nice little base there with kind of snow around it, definitely good to see. You get all these little mini builds, so you have a couple little Christmas presents, which aren't that exciting, but at that, there's a piano, which is great. It has a little printed piano tile piece. Then we have a pirate ship, which kind of reminds me of the Creator pirate ship that we got earlier this year. I think I forgot to flip that down, but a pirate ship nonetheless. Maybe my favorite little build here is the little airplane. I think this is just really cool that they're able to make this with so few pieces. And then finally a little computer, which actually does have a sticker there that has the nice list on it. So that's really cool to see. You can see a keyboard. It's like an old style desktop computer. So they really went way back with that design. And finally, something I think a lot of people wanted out of this is going to be this reindeer. And this reindeer actually does have the same mold as the Patronus from Harry Potter last year, but obviously not in the translucent blue color with all the sparkles and whatnot. And plus it's got a sleigh behind it with rockets. Now you can have a elf stand on in there and take the reins, if you will, of the reindeer, and it's not that bad of a build. It definitely is interesting and unique. I do wish they had included an alternative model or a couple pieces there, I guess, to place inside of your reindeer so you can just have a normal reindeer. I'm sure you could find a couple in your collection, but that doesn't exist in the set if you are looking to do that with this particular set, to just have like a natural reindeer roaming around the elf clubhouse. You have to have them, you don't have to, you can just have a giant hole in him, but you're supposed to have them attached to the little sled thing here, the sleigh. Not bad for the extra builds. There's the print on him, actually really nice looking, and the antlers are rubberized, of course, so that they're not going to be snapping off or anything like that, and they do come right back into place. So from an aesthetic point of view, I don't actually find the Elf Clubhouse all that appealing. I just don't think it looks that great to, it's a good build, it's a solid build, a lot was put into it, but for me, just aesthetically, it doesn't tickle my fancy. And that may be different for you just looking at it, but just looking at it, to me, this definitely does not get me going like last year's Gingerbread House or maybe some other Winter Village sets. I just don't think it's as all together as some of those sets. And that's just my opinion on it. You may feel differently, but that's fine. It does have, what I think is really neat, is these Christmas lights on the kind of A-frame build of the house here. And that's great. I think that looks really nice. It would be really cool if these lit up. Unfortunately, LEGO does not have that technology. There's a light up brick in the set, but that's, we'll get to that, but that is not there, and this would be cool if they lit up, but they just don't. I do like this little detail with the North Pole and then the workshop. You have an elf workshop, you can put it on off to the side, and then the sign makes a lot more sense. So you can put something for the North Pole off to the right of that. There's a little reef above the door. The door is a short door. It kind of reminds me of going to like the Chick-fil-A dwarf houses that they have up in Georgia, and it makes sense because all of the figures that are coming in and out of the elf clubhouse are going to be shorter. However, my issue with this is that they don't leave enough room, bro. How can the elves not fit in their own clubhouse door? I get it if you slide them in, but if they're just standing upright, they do not fit through this doorway. The hat gets in the way and doesn't allow him through, so you have to bend him through. It's not great. I really didn't like that with the Hoth Wampa Cave when they done goofed on that, and I equally don't like it here. It's not ideal for you to not be able to fit the figures through what is their lone entry doorway into the building. I know the backside is open, but hopefully you get that point. And then I believe what we have here on the right side of the building, kind of this open area here, kind of like a garage, is a nice little place to put the sleigh when it's not being placed on the reindeer, which again kind of reinforces my idea that the reindeer should probably have something there, but it doesn't. So not really sure what the deal with that is, but that is a nice little side area to the elf clubhouse where you can kind of store something. You can see more of the roofing and the paneling is actually quite nice on this set. Structurally speaking, it's a really sound build. I don't really have any issues with it. That again, it's just some of the color choices and whatnot just don't tickle my fancy. Over here on the right side, you kind of have a balcony, which does have a little telescope, but it shouldn't be much of a problem because when you place a figure in here, you're not placing it on the front side where I'm pushing it down, so you shouldn't really have to worry about that being too much of an issue. Here goes that piece trying to take him out. Maybe that's a bigger problem. Nice little skis on the side there. And then finally the interior. We have this big chimney, which you may have seen on the exterior. It actually connects up real nice here and can fold in and out of the clubhouse real easy. You have a stocking about halfway up the chimney there. You have some waffles ready to serve breakfast for all of your elves. And if you want to release the waffles, you can push up on, we'll just call it a piece of wood here. Push up on it, it'll drop one waffle down, and the next one will fall into place. And then you can see on the skillet there, you can drop the waffle out. So it's actually an ingenious feature. There we drop another one and drop another one on out. So you have 3 waffles ready to be cooked for the 4 elves, and then you have a couple more already on plates over there. So don't worry, you got enough waffles for all of your elves. That is easily my favorite feature in the set. Turning the light on and looking up, we have the bedroom essentially for the elves. So you have like a little dresser over here with some presents and coffee up on the table, and off to the right you have a little lamp with a chair for a character to sit in. Notably, the elves can't sit in chairs, so it's kind of surprising that they put 3 chairs in the set, but it is what it is. And then if we look to the bunks here, or above the, and if we look above the bunks, you'll find a calendar that says it's December. We can actually fit 3 elves onto the bunk beds, and you can kind of see them moving around there. You're about to figure out why if you don't know already. You see this little clock down here, nice little sticker for a clock, but it also does another thing, and that's move. And when you move it, you're gonna knock the, see it start? You ready? Down go the elves. So you can knock the elves out of their bed. You can see it in the downward position there, and then back in its normal position up against the wall. It's a little shaky. You see sometimes when you're putting the figures on, you may have a little bit of trouble, but in general, I think that's a really, really cool feature. Again, much akin to the waffle thing. I'm just surprised you could fit something like that in a set like this, but it does work. Couple of surprise features there for me in this one. And if we look over here, you can see this is gonna be like their gift wrapping station with the scissors, the wrapping paper kind of rolled up above it, wrapping on down onto whatever this piece of wood or whatever that box is. You can see another wrapped present there, so it's very obvious what that is supposed to be. The final feature in this set is going to be on the upper level here, and that's with that cone piece there, and you're not going to want to push in on it because then you'll break the set. I've done that a couple times. Hard to fix. Don't break it. Push down on it, just down. So down will turn the light on. The light turns on for the upper level here. It also does extend a little bit to the lower level, but it's more so for the upper level where the bunks are, so you can turn that light on, let them know it's time to wake up, and then kind of drop them out of the bed if you want. So kind of a fun little feature there. Definitely nice to have the light brick back again. I know we had a light brick in last year's gingerbread house, so always nice to see features like that return year over year, and it adds a nice bit of value to the set in my opinion. This set just doesn't excite me all that much. Aesthetically, it's not that pleasing, and while the features are fun, There's nothing killer, and I guess you can't expect that for a building, but, you know, it is what it is. It's $100, kind of the standard price for these Winter Village sets recently, and that's fine. I don't find the figures exciting, like I mentioned. These mini builds actually may be kind of the highlight for me, other than the Waffle Dropper. That one is pretty awesome, but I don't know. I mean, if it's worth $100 to you, go for it, but I don't know if I'm quite going to recommend this over something like the Gingerbread House from 2019. If you don't have that one, I would fully recommend picking that up before you'd get this if you're really trying to pick between the two, but that's just my 2 cents there. Overall, I would give this one like a 7 out of 10. It's passable, but it's just definitely not my favorite thing available, and that's fine. Not every set will be and has to be, but that's just the way I'm looking at this one. So let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, like would be greatly appreciated. You can check out my Lego Gingerbread House review, link on the end card now.